Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
And I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about season 5, episode 19, titled 100 Light Years from Home. Air date April 17th, 2002, and the synopsis is
On spring break, the gang goes to Florida to party. Meanwhile, here Audrey and Pacey have their first relationship test when Audrey's old high school boyfriend Chris shows up. Charlie unexpectedly shows up trying to spend more time with Joey, while Jen spends most of the week in bed suffering from a cold, and Jack spends his time getting drunk and refuses to talk about what's bothering him. Meanwhile, Dawson and Oliver are on the road driving to New York to meet with a film agent.
so, I mean, let's be honest. Did you like this episode?
Yeah, it was nice.
Okay, did it meet your expectations for 100 episodes?
Oh, that's what this was?
Yep, that's why it's 100 light years.
Oh, no.
It's their 100th episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think in my mind, I don't think they did good for 100 episodes.
Right.
Like they could have had like I just feel like it was just another episode for them. Like their 100th episode, they should have put more thought into it instead of
Mm-hmm.
this. I'm
Yeah.
like, it was their 100th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like every show always goes big for 100.
Yeah.
And if they get 200, they go even bigger. Like I don't know why they didn't do anything really different.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why they threw the flashbacks in of Dawson and Joey. But when
Yeah,
you
that
look, but when you look at every episode, it was just like
mm-hmm.
another episode.
Yeah, that would make more sense. The
But
flashbacks.
but their 100th should have been like outstanding with drama, whether it was good or bad or anything. I mean, nothing. It was just another episode.
Right.
I wanted to see some action finally, and I didn't get any.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we start off with Joey and Dawson watching some kind of tape about spring break in Florida.
I'm actually surprised that the gang is going to Florida.
Why? Why?
They don't seem like the spring breaker type.
Yeah.
Like they seem like they would just go back to Cape Side. Well, they never go out like to like beaches and stuff, so it just doesn't really seem like they would be interested in spring break.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I just thought they'd go back to Cape Side.
Yeah. So, Joey just wants to stay home and study, but Dawson, tells her to go have fun and she wants him to go with them, but he has this meeting, which I get. It is a big deal. And, she just says how
Well,
proud she is of him.
and especially because isn't he only like 19
Yeah,
and he has a big meeting like that? That's
yeah.
amazing.
He has freshman in filmmaking, film school, yeah. That's a big deal. And then he does apologize for blaming him or blaming her for his dad's death. So I thought that was nice to finally get some closure on that, even though it's been a good minute since that happened. I feel like he
Yeah,
should have done that sooner, but
but she never took anything, like she didn't take it seriously.
yeah, I know she said that. I'm just saying like he
Like I
finally
would
brought it
have.
up.
Like
Mm-hmm.
again, they could have wrote it real dramatic, but they didn't. They were just like, he said it. And it's like, what? Like, any other show would have went further
Mm-hmm.
with the drama, and there was none. I'm like, I don't get this show. Like, why don't you create drama? Like, that's what the
Yeah.
audience wants. That's why we will sit through it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any.
And then it was cute when they had the moment of talking about their lifetimes and how hopefully the next lifetime they'll like reach their dreams and Joey says in the one after that when they're cats. And then he just tells Joey to bring him back a t-shirt. And then the theme song, and then we go to Oliver and Dawson in the car on the road when Oliver mentions to Dawson if he's aware he hasn't said a word for the last hour and a half.
Didn't Oliver tell Dawson, you're penniless and pathetic?
Yep.
That was funny.
Yeah, I actually I put broke and pathetic just to make it sound a little bit better, but
Oh no, it was funny.
hmm,
Penniless and pathetic.
yeah.
I know I'm surprised Dawson's doing this little road trip with Oliver
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think he really likes Oliver.
Right.
Like I think he tolerates him.
Mm-hmm. Because but it was funny because Dawson's excuse for not talking was that he was listening to the radio, and Oliver said he turned it off 20 minutes ago.
hmm It's like liar.
Mm-hmm. And
But
then he's
what I
yeah,
can't figure out is why, for the 10th time, are we going back to Dawson and Joey?
it seems like a filler at this point. You know?
Like, why? She has someone else in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And he kissed that film critic. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
get why we're going back to Dawson and Joey. Why? Why? Why?
Right.
Why? It
Yeah, that
makes no
was
sense. They never actually follow through and stay a couple for very long
mm-hmm.
because they don't work. So I just don't get why we have to go back to Dawson and Joey.
Yeah. And I thought it was also funny how Oliver said that he would start singing and not stop until Dawson talked to him. And that's what he did. And that's when, Dawson finally tells him that it was about Joey and then gives him the whole story of it. He doesn't have the time for it. But Oliver called Joey the doe-eyed brunette. Yeah, I never heard anybody be called doe-eyed.
Well, she is a brunette, but
Mhm. And then there was three moments of flashbacks too throughout the episode, I think.
felt like there was more.
Yeah, so I think,
It felt
you
like
know,
anytime Dawson was on the screen or Joey was on the screen, like it would
hmm
flash back to one of their stupid scenes.
um, yeah, because I know a lot happened, but they could have still maybe only had like one set of flashbacks.
Yeah, where
That
he's
was
remembering her
enough.
and that's it.
hmm And then we end the flashbacks with Joey reading a book on the beach, and it's quieted until a guy catches a frisbee right next to her. And then we see
Now,
there's dozens of other people.
how did you like how Charlie called her? Like
Oh,
Charlie, Charlie has Joey's number.
right.
That's big. Like
hmm
Joey doesn't just give her number out to anyone.
Yeah. And then Audrey's on the balcony of the beach house trying to get Joey's attention, but Casey grabs her and pulls her into the house.
Duh. You know I hated that.
hmm But in this scene, I noticed how my captions had said that she said that it's super comfy. So it's super comfy, the bed, but she didn't say that line actually out loud. I think um yeah, but her lips did move a little bit, so I guess it just didn't get picked up, the mic, I guess, on set, and they never went back and put an ADR on it, I guess.
I
It's
didn't
just
notice.
weird. And then they talk about like telling their parents about each other and it's not a big deal if they don't know.
Well, yeah, and she was like, "Oh, your parents don't know about me." It's like, "Well, your parents don't know about him." So,
hmm And then but you can tell that Audrey kind of wanted them to take that to the next level and tell their parents about each other and their
yeah,
relationship.
but the Witters didn't even care that he was dating Joey.
Yeah, I know. It's just her alone. She probably doesn't know that, but yeah, she like herself, she just wants that to happen.
Like they're just gonna come up with a new name for her. Like they're never gonna get it right. They're not gonna care. So, what's the point?
hmm And then Jack is on the phone on top of the patio roof or whatever. I don't know what to call that. And then Joey walks out and sees him, and apparently they were looking for him. So Jen walks out too and sees him.
Yeah, Jack was
And
just kind of, I don't know, off in his
yeah.
own little world.
Mm-hmm. And the girls said they're gonna do rock, paper, scissors for the waterbed apparently. And then
Now, when was it that Pacey said um the old Pacey would lose the girl in the end?
I don't know if it's a lot later.
Yeah, I was like, huh?
Yeah, I don't really write everything Pacey says and does because I figured you'll bring it up anyway, so I really don't remember that line.
Well, I didn't
Um,
like it because he didn't lose her. He left
right.
her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a difference when you break up with someone and they break up with you. She never
Yeah.
broke up with you. You would still be together if you didn't break up with her. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get why they're changing the narrative.
Right.
That did not happen. He did not lose the girl.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of it? I didn't like that comment.
Yeah, like I said, I don't remember what scene that was, but yeah,
But
that's
why
not
is
good.
he the victim?
I
We
don't
can
know.
skip to it, but why is he the victim?
Mm-hmm.
He's not the victim. He broke up with her.
Right. I don't have my notes highlighted, so I really wouldn't know without taking like a good 5 minutes to find it. But yeah, I think Charlie called Joey twice, maybe before
Yeah, he
showing up.
did. He
Yeah.
did because he's the second time he was actually there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the first time he was like on the phone, he was like, "Oh, and what's the address?" And she was like none of your business, not gonna tell you and stuff.
Yeah, she said specifically 359 No Way in Hell Avenue on the corner of Get Over It in Maine. That
Yeah.
was funny. Yeah, and then just the payphone alone, again, ages the show as well. And then Joey, Jen, Pacey, and Audrey are sitting at the edge of the pool when Pacey makes a joke on how spring break didn't look like this in the brochure. And Audrey said she provided the house, they're supposed to provide the fun. And then Pacey brings up about them playing ship poker.
Yeah, and they all look at him and they're like, "No,
Hmm. And then he said that it's not like he hasn't seen them all naked before, but he never saw
Jen."
Jen. Yeah.
Right.
So I noticed that.
I know. I thought that too. I'm like, you've kissed them all,
Hmm.
but you haven't slept with them all.
Yeah. And then a guy comes towards up, to walks up towards them. Turns out to be Chris. He's like a kind of like a new actor. And everybody's like starstruck, and especially the girls, Jen and I think Joey. But turns out that Chris knows Audrey, and that's the reason why he went over there to see her. And then he tells them about how he has tickets for that concert on the beach that MTV is sponsoring for the
Well, yeah,
band
it
M2M.
was, well, it was funny because like at first, they were like so starstruck. Oh my gosh. And then when, he offered the tickets or whatever, they were all like, yeah, let's go. And she's like,
Hmm.
no.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you knew, but the M2M was actually a real band. They are Norwegian pop duo. And because I was wondering that when they were singing their song, I was like, is this fictional or fake? But it was real.
Nope, didn't know.
And then we have a mention of a real actress, Jennifer Love Hewitt, because Jen asked Chris if he's dating her. And the last mention we had of her was, I think, season one, when we saw the I Know What You Did Last Summer poster in the film class in Dawson's school. So that was kind of like a major throwback a little bit. And then that's when, Audrey lets Joey, nope, for that. Pacey asks Audrey if she slept with Chris, but she lets him know that they were just friends in high school.
Yeah, and then she tells Joey, it's Chris. And it's like,
Hmm.
and she's like, why didn't you just tell Pacey that?
Yeah, and so she's lying
Like,
again.
what? Like, she learned nothing from last episode.
Yep, exactly. And this is a bigger deal because now she can't really, exaggerate or avoid it.
Well, and then she said, at some point, she did say that this is her Dawson.
Right. Yep.
And since Joey hasn't gotten over her Dawson, like clearly Audrey hasn't gotten over Chris.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of surprised they named him Chris because we already had a Chris on the show, but yeah, they could have probably easily forgot too about that
Well,
fact.
they forget a lot on this show.
Yeah. And then this is when Joey pops up, not Joey pops up. Charlie pops up near Joey, but he was hiding like behind the pillar or whatever of the house, and nobody noticed him there when before they left because it seemed like he was there for a minute.
Well, Pacey knew he was showing up.
I know, I'm just saying that moment, like nobody knew he was already there, the
Yeah, but
backyard of the house.
she was standing there talking to him on the phone, thinking, and what I couldn't figure out is like if someone's in the same room with you or near you and they're
Mm-hmm.
talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
they're a lot louder than they are like on the phone.
Yeah.
Like there's a different sound.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just kind of confused. I was like, how come she doesn't realize he's right there?
Yeah, until he touches her shoulder.
Because he's literally right behind her talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Yep.
that's weird.
Unless
Like
she's deaf in
you
that
would,
ear, but
but you would be able to hear in both ears
mm-hmm. Yep.
that he's right behind you. Because if you're on the cell phone, it's only in one ear. Like it
Yep.
confused me. I was like, what? This is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. Make it more realistic that she would be like, what? What are you
Yeah.
doing here? Like
Yeah. So
instead of him grabbing her shoulder or whatever, and then she turns
mhm.
around.
Yeah, so she would do bad in a horror movie just from that alone.
Well, she would. She was given the serial killer her information, remember?
Mm-hmm. And then a girl is hitting on Pacey at the beach. He says he's there with someone right now, and then that girl ends up being one of the girls from the band. So he goes upstage and starts singing. So he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
the
that's who
lead
she is."
singer.
Yeah.
Okay, but I liked that he, as much as I don't like Audrey, like he at least was like, no, like I'm with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could have been like, hey,
Yeah.
cute girl alert, let's go. But he
Mm-hmm.
didn't.
Right. And then when the girl was walking across the pool on that little bridge or whatever, I thought for a second that she was gonna get smacked with that giant beach ball that went past
No, but
her.
she pushed that guy in.
Yeah, I know. Just really thought she was gonna get hit by the beach ball.
No, I just thought it was funny when she pushed that guy in.
Mm. And then, Joey asked Charlie how he even found her. And
Oh, did you like his story that he found like Audrey's parents and asked
mhm,
them where their daughter is because he is her study partner and stuff. And Joey's like, yeah, Audrey's parents are out of town. So what's the real reason?
yeah.
And then he brings up Pacey.
Mm-hmm.
That Pacey told him where he was going to be or where she was
Yep.
going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am surprised because uh Pacey hated Charlie.
Yeah, me too.
And remember, he wanted to keep Charlie and Joey away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised that he would tell Charlie where Joey's at.
Yeah, well, they did seem to kind of make up at the end of the road trip episode at the motel. And then Chris is trying to talk to Audrey, but she won't let him. So she, says they'll go get something to drink, and then Pacey shows up and, asks if she's okay, but she just says she's fine and keeps walking. And then Pacey and Chris kind of like look at each other.
Well, um, it was funny because wasn't it like when Chris came in at some point again and they were like, and Audrey's like, how'd you get in? And he said the sniffling girl let me in.
Yeah, that was funny.
I was like, what? Oh, and by the way, Charlie called Pacey an intimidating ex-boyfriend.
Right.
I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? I would love to have seen that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Pacey and Charlie, because I'm sure Pacey had some more words for Charlie.
Mm-hmm. And then Pacey meets Chris in the bathroom where he thanks him for the concert tickets and, Chris asks Pacey if he knows Audrey really well as like a low-key way to see if that they're involved or not. And Pacey asks if Chris had like a crush on Audrey in high school or something, and that's when Chris tells him that they dated for 2 years. And of course, Pacey is shocked by this, considering with what Audrey told him. Completely different story.
Oh, did you like the comment at some point that Dawson is past, present, and future?
No, because it didn't really make sense.
I forgot who said that, but I was just like,
That was
what?
Pacey. Mm-hmm.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, Joey's with Charlie, like in her mind. Like, eh,
Mm-hmm.
let's let Dawson go.
Yeah.
Fly away.
Mm-hmm. And then from that scene again, Chris told Pacey that seeing Audrey again makes him remember how much he loves her. So now Pacey knows the truth that they did date and Chris wants her back.
Well, did you see Pacey eyeing up Chris at that concert?
No, not really.
He was. He was like looking at him like, what are you? Like, because he didn't really
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
Like, are you just a high school friend or an ex? Because, Audrey lies.
Oh yeah, I mentioned that a minute ago. When
Yeah.
Audrey went to go get a drink. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was funny just because he was like, just kept eyeing him up. Like,
Mm-hmm. And then on the beach, Charlie's talking to a girl, explaining what's going on with this band. And then Joey walks up and says Charlie's just being modest about it. And then Joey knows Charlie's game and he doesn't even tell the girl his name yet. And then Charlie wants Joey to go away, so he's like, I don't really know her and everything. And then Joey ends up uh telling Charlie that he can just be honest when picking up a girl and he doesn't need to be ashamed of his success. And then that's when Joey whispers something in the girl's ear. And afterward, she's like, glad you told me, or else I would have hooked up with him. That would have been embarrassing. And then Charlie asks what Joey said. And she says she told the girl that he's the boy from where was it? From the Hansons?
Hanson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried
He
looking
was
that
the
up.
little one. He was the little boy from the Hansons.
Yeah, I never heard of them, so I look it up. It's like a big family, right?
I think so.
That's all Google could tell me,
I don't know.
really. Yeah. I think that was like before our time,
Yeah, it was
quite a
like the
bit.
80s or 90s.
Okay,
But
yeah,
we were,
so
but if it was the 90s, we were like little babies, kids.
yeah. And can I mention that the girl in the scene was Hillary? Just because she's a known actor.
And her name's Hillary?
Oh yeah, that too. That was funny. I wasn't expecting that.
Because Joey goes, bye, Hillary.
Yeah. I was
Um,
like, and I looked, I'm like, what? They couldn't just give her a different name for this one scene, you know?
I'm telling you, they did not think of their 100th episode at all.
Mm-hmm.
They had all season to think of their 100th episode.
Yeah.
And this is what we get.
Yeah.
But yeah, when she said that, I was like, you couldn't even give her a name
Mm-hmm.
besides her own name.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, can't be doing much acting, right? If it's your actual name.
Right. And then we see more flashbacks of Joey and Dawson over the years and
Did you notice
Dawson's
it's like
words.
fighting too? Like they threw the
Yep.
fighting in. Like, why do we have to see that? If you want them
Yeah.
back together, why do we got to see all the fighting?
Yeah.
So
Because
that all of us Pacey lovers can say that's why Dawson and Joey shouldn't be together?
mm-hmm. Yeah. So we hear, Dawson in flashbacks about how it hurts to be around Joey. And then we go back to present day where they're still in the car and Oliver's crying, hearing about the sad parts, I guess. And
My God, get over it.
yeah, Oliver asks how Dawson wants it to end, and he says all he cares about is her being happy.
Oh
And
yeah, but Oliver said it needs like a dark
tragic.
ending, yeah,
Hmm.
tragic ending. I was like, oh my God, Oliver. Hmm.
Yeah, that's when he calls him penniless and broke. And then, he runs after her, and just as he's crossing the street, he gets hit by a bus. That sounded
No,
a
he
little
said you're
familiar.
penniless and broke, or he said you're penniless way ahead of time.
Oh, well, I go in order.
Because I write these, I write my lines
Hmm.
as they're going on the TV.
Yeah, so do I by scene.
And my Your Penny Listen Broke was the first thing I wrote. So that was like at the beginning of the show.
No, well, I like I said, I go in order by scene. So
Because I
I just,
haven't even gotten to Jack failing on my
yeah, neither have
list.
I. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So the so he must, maybe he said it twice.
okay, yeah. And then we go back to the beach where a guy is talking to Joey and tells her if she's ever in New York to give him a call. Apparently he's in another band, and that's when Charlie walks up and now he's jealous.
Well, yeah, like why is she talking to another guy?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she's trying to make Charlie jealous to see what he would do?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like the odds are pretty likely if you're there on spring break, I would most likely come up to you and talk to you.
I know, but I feel
Anyhow,
like
but
she's trying
yeah.
because she loves messing with him. So it's like, what are you going to do now? So I do feel like a part of her is trying to just be like, hey, who can talk to me just so, because Charlie's around and she's not talking to him,
hmm Yeah, so Charlie like gets
which I also don't get because he came all the way to Florida
right.
to be with you and you're not even hanging out with him.
Yeah, Joey did say that it doesn't mean that she has to hang out with him just because he, did all the trouble of finding her. But I don't know, because it was hard to tell if she like was just like not liking him or playing hard to get. But yeah.
I think it was playing hard to get because she does like him.
hmm
But this is what I don't get. It's like you like him. He came all this way for you. So
Yeah.
hang out with them.
Yeah.
Because eventually he's going to find someone else because you took too long.
hmm
Like, not all guys are like Dawson and Pacey that will wait around for you,
hmm
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. If she didn't go up to Charlie when he was talking to Hillary, then he probably would have hooked up with her.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's like right there, you were taking too long.
Mm. Yeah. So he gets all jealous and protective and tells the guy to go away. And it actually does work. And then Jack comes running up to Jen, all in a hurry, out of breath, and tells her that he entered them in a hotel raffle so they could win 2 weeks in a Miami timeshare. I guess, like,
Oh,
that's the thing to do.
and I didn't like that Jen was sick the whole time because it's not something I want in my 100th episode.
Right. Yeah.
Like she was barely in it because she was sick and blowing her nose and stuff. It's like, or laying in bed. It's like, no, I want her to like have fun with the rest of them.
Yeah. I think they didn't know what to do with her.
They could have done anything.
Yeah. But I thought it was cute how Jack was like all excited about the timeshare and, trying to get Jen hyped up too. And she started having that coughing fit. And then Audrey is explaining to Pacey why she lied about Chris, that she didn't want to have this discussion they're having right now. But Pacey points out that this discussion wouldn't be happening if she told him the truth.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
That girl has got to stop lying.
Right.
That's the girl that should have a book of all the lies she's telling.
hmm Yeah, so Pacey asks if there's more to it, and Audrey gets mad, but she really shouldn't get mad because he has a right to be, asking questions at this point.
Hmm. Aren't they like together? She's the one that like wants the families to know that they're dating.
Yeah, well, they're kind of like in between of casual and serious still, and they don't know which one they want to be. The other one seems to be going for the opposite direction.
Well, I do want them to break up, but that's just me.
Hmm.
You probably like them together. I don't.
Well, now when she's lying like this all the time, no. And that's when Pacey says that this was supposed to be fun, no strings attached, and line is for people who are in serious relationships. Well, that's not good if they are, but and they were just never serious. But Pacey did say that he loved Audrey in the last episode. Remember in the lobby for the movie screening after he figured out that she was testing him.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, he that's what he said he was, had fallen for her. So now it's kind of like backtracked and now it's just casual for him. And so she's hurt by this and walks away. And then the next day, Pacey explains what happened with Audrey to Joey while they walk on the beach. He says he did the right thing, and he
I
asks
like
Joey,
that scene.
yeah, and he asks Joey, what the high school Pacey would have dealt with when it came to a love triangle like this. Because like he would have died right in, and like you said, still lose the girl at the end anyway. And then they compare it with her and Dawson and everything, but it's definitely not the same thing at all. But it does seem like Audrey and Chris had more in common at least. Joey and Dawson and didn't argue like them all the time.
Well, you know who has the chemistry and everything in common? Pacey and Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get them back together. Screw everybody else.
Yeah. And then Pacey says that he's looking for a woman who has no soulmate to speak of. So even he thinks that Joey and Dawson are the quote unquote soulmates.
No, I don't think he thinks that they're soulmates. I just think that he knows Joey's still caught up with Dawson. And until she lets him go, then she's never gonna like truly move on with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with Audrey. He's watching it now with Audrey. So it's like he just can't win with a girl.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. When he actually likes somebody, they're hung up on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
No, I
And then
I do feel like someday Joey will let Dawson go.
maybe, yeah.
It just I feel like it ain't gonna be anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
But she is starting to like Charlie and kind of distancing herself from Dawson a little. Like she's only
Right.
being friends. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, she's in the right direction.
Yep.
Because she's not lying to Dawson that she likes Charlie.
Right.
She wasn't lying that she liked the professor. Like she's actually stuff she would do in season 3 and 4, which was lie, she's not doing.
Right.
So she's starting to be mature in turn. So I think the whole soulmate crap is starting to fade.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully. Okay, yeah, so Pacey asks Joey if she'll follow her own advice because Charlie comes walking by after surfing. And, Joey says that she can't see them having a serious future or anything. And Pacey says he's not talking about the future, he's talking about right now because he came all this way to see her. And, that's when he mentions that he even called him just to find out where she was. And that takes guts.
Yeah,
Joey says,
but Joey's not like she's like the serious one. She's not like, oh, I'm only gonna date you for a week
right,
or
yeah.
hook up with you. She wants like a long-term relationship,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't Charlie.
Right. Yeah, she said that he could just be an idiot too. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess maybe she's kind of had Audrey rubbed off on her like she's in college. Maybe she should just kind of just have fun, and not be so serious right now.
Yeah, and let loose, yeah.
Hmm. And then we get more flashbacks of Joey and Dawson, which is too much at this point. And,
And that's coming from you.
yeah. So that's when Oliver's like, let's just go to Florida to see Joey and we can reschedule our meeting, which I'm actually surprised he said that, instead of
Well,
how about,
even Dawson said we can do that.
yeah. Because I feel like with agents, if you reschedule, depending on who they are, they might, say that's okay, or they may be like, well, my schedule is really booked, so I don't know. And then like that kind of just falls through the cracks. It could have like really risked losing that opportunity completely.
Well, especially because they're both young and not
Hmm.
experienced. I feel
Yeah.
like they would be like, oh, you canceled, which means you don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Like something else is important to you. I mean, unless you're in the hospital, you should go,
Hmm.
you know? So it's like, I don't think that you should just cancel, reschedule, whatever. I mean, that's just especially when you're not experienced. Your name isn't out there. You're not a big time director or anything. So for those people, yeah, you can, I'm sure, reschedule, but
Hmm.
not for Dawson and Oliver.
Right. Yeah, so Oliver tells Dawson, like, let's just go. And, Dawson says that he doesn't know if he has the right since he pushed her away. And Oliver's like, you'll never know if you don't go and see and ask her. And it's really funny how Oliver's become Dawson's like, you know, like kind of conscious, like talking things over with him and he's not sure about things, like his
Hmm.
voice of reason.
Yeah, but what I can't figure out is when Joey in the last few episodes said she wanted Dawson.
Yeah.
Like that would indicate he should go to Florida because there's no reason that he should go to Florida.
And the last time Dawson saw Joey was the screening, but they didn't really have any interaction. And then the time before that was what? The I really can't remember.
But it's
Um
like any time, I think it was her watching the movie, but it's like any
oh no.
time that they've had lately, it's
Hmm.
just friendship moments because that's all that she wants from him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why it's in his head. Once again, they gotta ruin the Dawson Joey friendship and make them a couple. It's like, no, why
Hmm.
can't we just have them be friends? Why do
Yeah.
we have to always step at one more step and, ooh, we're gonna be a couple for the 10th time? No. Like,
Hmm.
she hasn't said it. They've been finally cute because they're just friends. Like, let's leave it at that.
Yeah. And then Charlie's practicing his stance on the surfboard on land. So when Joey walks up, she says people don't usually surf on on land, it's in the water. And he asks if she's going to question everything he says, and she says most likely will. So she's
But I
kind of like,
think, but I think you have to practice on land so that you can actually surf in the water. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, I know that too. It's just, Joey, I think was just trying to make a joke, trying to
So
be funny.
clearly Charlie probably doesn't know how to surf because he's practicing on land.
Yeah, unless it's been a while because he's been in school, I guess, and he's somewhere warm. Yeah, because surfing like that for the first time on spring break would be dangerous. So
Yeah, with
yeah,
all the people. Yeah.
maybe somebody in his band knows how to surf and like maybe taught him or told him how to do it. Maybe who knows? We don't actually see him on the water anyway, so
No, just in the sand.
yeah. And we see a montage of Joey and Charlie practicing surfing on land, which includes a moment when Charlie somehow falls off and down to the sand. So that was kind of funny. Then we see Audrey on the balcony, and Pacey and Chris are on the beach. So they're like, she's like looking at them, and Jen's completely in bed and sick now, and Jack is on the deck drinking. Dawson's driving, and then we see Charlie chase after Joey on the beach after her laughing at him falling. And then nope, Jen joins Jack on the deck. That's almost a tongue twister. And he's still drinking. He's drinking a spiked coffee, it looks like. And, Jen says to Jack, like, he partied hard last night. And when he passed out, she had to put him to bed. And, Jack wants her to get to the point. And Jen says that it looks like he's trying to, make himself forget something. But he says there's nothing to talk about. And then Joey gets back to the beach house after spending time with Charlie. And then that's when Jen's there in the kitchen making herself some tea. And then, Jen brings up Charlie, like, be careful with him. Like, he's a bad guy. I don't want to see you get hurt and everything. And Joey's like, thanks, but I'll just stick with my instincts on this one. And they kind of get into an argument because Joey's in like, well, did you take my feelings into consideration when you slept with Dawson? So
She had
bringing
a
up that
point.
again. Yeah, she did.
And once again, they're not friends.
Yeah, so that's why
Like,
it's kind of like
because
pointless
if
for
you
them.
guys are like, if they were friends, they wouldn't be saying that stuff to each other.
Yeah. Hmm.
And Jen would be looking out for her best interest. But I do think Jen, part of her is like I think a part of her does worry about Joey, but I think another part of her is like, Charlie wasn't that way with me.
Right. Yeah. I think it's both. Yeah.
Like he was cheating. He's not
Hmm.
cheating on Joey. So it's like
Right.
I think a part of her, is both. And I think Joey has a right to actually have fun for once and be, just date around and be, hang out with whoever she wants. Like, and right now
Hmm.
it's Charlie. So it's like, shut up, Jen.
Yeah. And then Jen wasn't even technically the girlfriend; it was the other girl. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when Charlie shows up and kind of hears the last of that conversation because Joey forgot her keys on the beach. So that was kind of awkward. And then Joey just tells Charlie that she wants to get out and get away from here. And then it's nighttime now. Audrey's on the balcony alone when Chris walks up behind her and says he missed her freckles. And then he ends up
Kissing her?
kissing. Yep.
That's disgusting. Mm.
And then, but even before
Okay,
the
if
kiss,
she really likes Pacey, why is she kissing Chris?
Right. I know. I
because
didn't get that
Pacey
either.
sees it.
Yep.
I felt so bad for Pacey.
Me too.
Like, and then he had to see the kiss.
Hmm.
Not only was the whole episode was he like, oh, this is her ex that she loved like a Dawson, and then he has to see them kiss. I was like, oh, poor
Hmm.
Pacey.
Yeah. He was there for a minute. I'm surprised I didn't notice him, but he was bringing her, a little bouquet of flowers and says he's sorry and all that. But when he sees that,
But
so then
sorry
he
for what?
leaves. I don't know, just because. Well, he was bringing her flowers, and that's usually what guys do when they want to say they're sorry. But yeah, he really isn't sorry for anything. I think
She
just
needs to be
earlier when they were
sorry.
yelling. Yeah.
She needs to apologize for still from the comment of how many guys she slept with, and then this one
Hmm.
for now kissing Chris and not telling Pacey that that was her love of her life.
Hmm. Yeah, because she was just mad at him when he said that they weren't serious, that they were just
Who
casual. So
cares?
that's why she was mad. But yeah.
Well, I would take it now too that you're not even really together either because now you're making out with him. Like if you were
Hmm.
so serious with Pacey and you wanted to be with Pacey, you would not be kissing Chris.
Right.
So for her to be like, well, we need to be like serious and like more than that. No, you don't, because look what you just did. Because if
Hmm.
you were in a relationship, he would have every reason to break up with you.
Right.
Like look what happened to him and Andy. He got himself so in love with Andy and then she broke his heart.
Yep.
So it's like, why would he want to go through that again? And he's seeing it before they're even like serious.
Hmm.
Like, run, Pacey, because this is what you got to deal with if you're in a relationship with her. She doesn't tell the truth. And now she's making out with her ex.
Hmm.
So I don't think that's a relationship you want to be in,
Right.
especially Pacey. Pacey's like the long term. He's
Hmm.
looking at like marriage and, kids and everything. So the fact that he's gonna just still hang around Audrey like and want to be with her is weird to me.
Hmm. Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
I just don't get it.
And then Charlie was actually being considerate and he brought a tent with him to sleep outside because he knew that it wouldn't have been right he knew that Joey wouldn't let him sleep with her, but you know, then he can't even put the tent up. So that was
Yeah,
funny.
he was being a gentleman, but then she was like, "Let me put it."
Hmm. Yeah, because he tells her that she looks beautiful tonight and he goes to kiss her, but she moves her head. Probably asks if he did something wrong, and Joey just thinks it's best if she goes, and then that's when she changes her mind. So she's kind of like a little dodgy too about whether she wants to, be involved with Charlie or not.
Well, I think she likes him. She just doesn't want to be hurt.
Right.
Like, I mean, the last relationship that she was in with was Pacey, and he hurt her.
Right.
And Charlie has hurt Jen, so it's like, why would she want to go through that?
Hmm.
She likes him, but is it worth it? Like, do you want to put your heart on the line?
Hmm. Yeah, because Charlie did figure out why Joey did that and says, what he did to Jen was horrible, but doesn't define him. And he never, like, if she ever hurt anybody, and she hasn't like that.
Yeah, but they say once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah, so I get why Joey's being indecisive about it.
Well, and it's not like it happened 5 years ago. It just
Hmm.
happened a couple months ago.
Yeah. So it's not like he's learned and changed and grew from that.
Right. It hasn't been that long.
Yeah. And then Dawson gets to the beach house, and it took me a second because I already forgot that he was with Dawson. You hear snoring as Dawson's walking up to the front door. So that means that Oliver's in the back seat of the car sleeping, but then we never see him after that. Did you notice that?
No.
Yeah, so because he did go with Dawson to Florida, but then they don't show him in Florida. So I don't know if they didn't like have like any reason for like they couldn't think of a reason to bring him in to any scenes after that, or because I don't think he knew anybody in Florida to like to go hang out with them.
He could have taken care of Jen, gave her some medicine.
Yeah, because it seemed like that they're going to start something there, but they haven't yet. So they could have, yeah, they could have done that. because I could see Oliver doing that, like trying to help her and get her whatever she needs.
Like he just barges in and
Hmm.
like, I heard you're sick.
Yeah,
Like,
that would have been
or I got
funny.
you flowers or,
Hmm.
just anything weird, like obnoxious, because that's Oliver. So it's like, I don't know. And because Jen didn't really have much in the episode,
Hmm.
like, I don't know. I just feel like that would have been a good thing for Oliver to, you know,
Yeah.
be with Jen. I don't know.
Yeah, because we go to the next day later on in the episode, but we still don't see him. So I put in my notes, is he still in the car sleeping or yeah, but
I can't imagine he's in the car because think about when Dawson says, like, stay downstairs and he comes upstairs. Like, he
yeah,
doesn't listen.
right.
So, I can't imagine he would stay in the car all day or
Yeah,
all
neither.
night.
Yeah. And then when not Jack, when Dawson gets to the backyard of the beach house, he sees Dawson. Nope. He sees
Why is
Jack.
Jack on the roof?
Well, he was up there earlier. I think they were foreshadowing that. So that's why it would make a little bit more sense why he was up there again. Because we already knew he could get up there. So, but
Yeah,
he
but
did
he's
manage
gonna
to get
get
up there
down.
drunk. Yeah, I know. He did jump down the first scene of that, but now he wants to jump down a different way by going into the pool.
Okay,
But he
you
didn't
have to
really.
imagine that that would
Mhm.
hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Like that
impact like
water.
that.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Like hitting a wall because he didn't really jump. He kind of fell, even though he said he wanted to fly. And then luckily Dawson was there because everybody was inside sleeping probably. So if it wasn't for Dawson actually deciding to show up to see Joey in Florida, Jack may have died like Abby.
Yeah, but Dawson was like, "Get down, come
Hmm.
here," like kind of
Yeah, I know.
encouraging him to get off. So
Yeah,
it was kind of like, and he didn't know a way down. Maybe he would have just stayed there all night,
right.
and then somebody else would have found him in the morning. Like Dawson was the one that like, "Get down from there," and he couldn't
Hmm.
because he didn't know how.
Yeah, at least drunk,
Okay,
intoxicated.
but then after that, Dawson, got him out, and they were
Hmm.
sitting there, and Jack said he's still failing. Like he's failing out of college.
Right.
And I was like, "You're still failing? I thought you were starting to like get some A's." And
Hmm.
then he said for his exams or whatever, he's got to pass them all. And I'm like, "Well,
Right. Ace them, yeah.
shouldn't he be studying right now?
Yep.
Not drinking and partying?"
Yeah, and he said he hasn't even like read half of the material he's supposed to know. So,
He's really gonna fail.
yeah. I'm not sure about universities, but I feel like at least community college, like it depends, but on how you paid for the classes. I don't know. I don't know if they would drop you or you would have to drop yourself or just fail the class by the end of the semester. But I feel like something should have happened, you know, because I'm sure like the college would have recommended a jacket tutoring.
Yeah,
And
tutoring.
yeah, he should be doing that, but instead he's in Florida with everybody else. So
Well, he's not even studying to even try. He's not trying
yeah.
at all.
Yeah, we
And
saw him get 1A
when
in a
he,
test, but that was
well,
it.
when he was with the frat house,
Hmm.
he was failing then. So it's like, you're still failing?
Yeah. Wasn't
And
that
you're
last
okay with that.
semester? Or no, it was the second semester. He was still there and he left. And then
Yeah, I don't get it. Oh, and then he says, "Oh, Toby has a boyfriend."
yeah, and I
Wait a
didn't think
minute.
that they had
I
any
lit
contact.
well, I literally wrote down he's messing up basically his life because of Toby? Like what?
I think that was just part of it, maybe.
But Toby, the one who I couldn't stand,
Hmm.
that's who you're gonna waste your life over. Like, no.
I think he was just sad that Toby moved on, but he hasn't.
Well, because he was too busy with the frat house to even move on.
Hmm.
And right after that, he got drunk. And he's been
Yeah.
drunk like every night. So how is he supposed to move on?
Hmm.
And Toby was like the beginning of season 5.
Hmm.
Like we're at the end of season 5. Toby's been a long time, and Toby
Yeah.
wasn't going to wait around forever for Jack.
Hmm.
So of course he's going to move on. But I was just like, why are we throwing Toby in this? I thought we got rid of the dude.
Yeah. Yeah, but I did feel kind of bad for Jack when he started crying and just kept saying he wishes he could start over or start from graduation and just restart his life.
So does that mean he wouldn't go into the frat house?
Maybe, probably, if he knows what he knows now. And then Audrey's sitting at the edge of the pool somewhere else, and Pacey walks up and says that, well, to talk to her, and she says that she's thinking about, nope, I'm sorry. He asked her if she's becoming a roadie or not for Chris's band. She said, well, she does have the upper body strength. But then they get serious in the conversation, and, Pacey, well, she starts to tell Pacey that she Chris, but then Pacey knows, about it, so he tells her that he saw it and jokes that he hired a PI after her. And then, Pace, not Pace, I'm so tired. Audrey tells Pacey that she doesn't want this to be casual anymore. She wants to be in a serious relationship. And the thing is, she didn't say like the kiss between Chris didn't mean anything, or when she kissed him that she realized she wanted to be with Pacey. She just kind of like glossed it over and moved on, you know?
Mm-hmm. I still think she likes Chris.
Right.
I think when she kissed him, some feelings came back.
Mm-hmm. Because even when she was telling Joey about him, she said that when she hears a certain song on the radio, she thinks of him and sometimes thinks if breaking up with him was a mistake to this day. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep. And then Pacey finds Dawson in the kitchen the next day. And,
Okay.
uh,
When Pacey
yeah.
told Dawson it's over
Hmm.
between you and Joey, I was like, yay, somebody's saying it. And see, like, Pacey's not saying it as a jerk. He's saying it as like a friend to Dawson, like, hey, move on. This, you can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
And then but then when Pacey says, she's with Charlie Dawson, I
Hmm.
was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And you could tell he felt bad to let Dawson know that he was,
Hmm. But
giving him a
it's
heads
kind
up.
of funny because it's like she's with Charlie, I guess, but she ain't with Dawson or Pacey.
Yeah.
Like those two are still talking about it. It's like, ugh, move
Hmm.
on.
Yeah. And then Joey and Charlie wake up in the tent. And at first we thought, or I thought it was outside, because that's when they were setting it up. It turns out it was actually inside the house. I'm surprised it even fit in the house. So they slept on the floor in the tent, just I guess to pretend they were camping out, I guess. And they were telling each other embarrassing stories of one another,
All I
or
know is
of themselves.
Audrey's parents have a lot of money.
Yep.
I would like to see what their California home looks like.
Yeah, we don't really know what they do. Audrey never said, right? What they do?
I forgot
Yeah, I don't think so.
because we only saw the wicked mom once.
Yeah. And then I thought it was kind of cute how Joey's like, "Do you want to take a break from talking?" And he said he can never get a break from her. And then Charlie's like, "Well, I'm not that good," when she says that he's good with one-liners because he hasn't given her a proper kiss and maybe he lost his touch. And Joey says she doesn't think so. And then they do kiss finally, and then they like all fall back laughing and smiling afterward, like it was their first kiss,
Hmm.
which
They're
was kind
cute
of cute.
together.
Yeah, but I can't see this going too far. And then we just end the episode with Dawson looking out at the ocean.
Looking out, isn't he like standing out there?
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Yeah, just staying outside on the beach looking out at the waves.
Yeah, because he gave up he can't, or he, canceled his meeting
Mm-hmm.
for nothing.
Yep. And I don't think even Oliver knows because he's in the car or somewhere. We
Yep.
don't know.
Probably hooking up with someone else.
Maybe. And so then nope, high and the low.
So for me, the high was when Pacey and Joey were talking,
Mm-hmm.
their little moment. And then the low,
Mm-hmm.
um, Jack being drunk and falling in the pool, and Audrey and her ex.
Right.
Like there was a lot of storylines I just didn't care for.
Yeah, once
I didn't care for Oliver telling, making Dawson go to Florida either. So there's just a lot I didn't like. What about you?
right. So my highs and lows. My low was Jack falling to the pool just because, like I said, he could have easily ended up like Abby in that situation. And then the high was I think uh well, the concert was fun. It was nice to see them have fun for once. This season's been kind of tough, especially for Dawson. So
But were they really having fun?
during the concert, yeah, I don't know.
Didn't really seem like they were really. The only one that was really around was Pacey.
Yeah. But yeah, the only cute good moment was with Joey and Charlie, really. And then Rain,
Mm. Hmm. I am gonna give this. I'm pushing it, but I'm gonna give it an 8.
no,
I was being
okay.
nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking
Because
seven.
but it was really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Like,
seven for me.
but you're at the 100th episode,
Mm-hmm.
and there was not much happening.
Right.
Like, if anything, this should have been your jam-packed episode with drama and laughter and just everything.
Mm-hmm.
Make the audience laugh and cry and like get mad. Like, there was no reaction. I was just like, another episode.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this is what they did for their 100th. Out of all the episodes, this is your 100th.
Right.
I mean, at least the Highway to Hell one was better than this one,
Mm-hmm.
because it had the Joey and Charlie singing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, this was just bad. Um, all right, and then who's your best and worst character?
The best is Pacey. Just
You didn't
because,
say Dawson?
no, just because Pacey was, helping out Joey with her Charlie, like I said, indecisiveness. And then also helping Dawson kind of like let him down about Joey being with Charlie and how he should just move on. And then the worst, of course, is Audrey because she's lying. And I feel like kind of going back and forth with her feelings towards Pacey and Chris. I feel like she has feelings for them both, but she doesn't want to admit it to herself. And yours?
Yeah, so of course my best was Pacey.
Mm-hmm.
Same reasons. He was there for Dawson, surprisingly. I'm just kidding. Um, and he was there for Joey and because he's always there for Joey. But anyway, yeah. And he was actually calm when it came to Audrey and Chris.
Right. Right.
Um,
Because I'm
because
surprised he didn't like,
he just got his heart broken again.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
I was surprised he didn't like go find um Chris and like have a fight with him, like verbal or physical even.
yeah, I think that means he doesn't really like Audrey.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if it was like Joey, then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he wanted to have a fight with Charlie, and he's not even with Joey.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, I feel like it was the wrong girl, so he didn't care. Um, and then so he's the best, and then the worst is definitely Audrey. I mean, you were pushing it by not telling anyone except for Joey that that was your ex, the love of your life, and then you kissed him. It's like if you want to be with Pacey, why wouldn't you be distancing yourself from your ex?
Right.
But instead, nope, she didn't do that. So, and she kissed him. So, and she liked it. So, yeah. And she didn't really care how Pacey felt about any of this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she was the worst for me. So what's the next episode?
Episode 20, Separate Ways. That sounds like a breakup episode of some kind.
Yeah, who's breaking up?
We'll see.
Hopefully everyone. I mean, no one's really together though. So,
Right.
all right. Thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.